Here we are, folks, BC legend. We have Sean Millington, welcome.
Testing. Wow, you had a picture up there when I had hair. What a concept.
I'm on my way.
Oh, nice.
You want to get a turkey?
Perfect, let's do it.
Thanks for joining us, Sean.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man.
Historic event. You got the first question, right?
I'm leading it off.
All right, let's do this.
Obviously, we're at the Vancity Card Show, and I heard you're a little bit of a collector.
I am definitely a fan. I have been to San Diego Comic Con, to New York Comic Con. I've been all over the place.
Wow,
So
you're really in it.
My cousin and I, we like to go traveling and go to different shows and stuff all over the place. So this is a pretty good turnout. Like, you guys have done a fantastic job. I'm really impressed. It's awesome here.
Definitely, yeah. I came from San Francisco just for this show, and I go to a lot of shows in the U.S. as well. And this is, the convention, everything is beautiful.
Yeah, right.
So obviously, you've done a little bit of traveling, gone to some shows. What is your favorite collecting memory?
Oh, wow. Well, actually, I have a rookie Gretzky card. So that just shows you how old I am, because I bought it original from, in a pack with gum and all that, junk, and I have that at home, and that's kind of one of my little things one of the few things that I've collected that has actually turned out to have some value and was a good catch at the time. So yeah, I like that.
I mean, to have that, and because a lot of people buy a card like that and hold it in their collection, but it's not actually one they got themselves, back in the day, so that's awesome. Speaking of collecting, the last question I want to ask you is, there's a lot of nice stuff in the showroom today. Is there anything in particular, any players or any type of cards that you'd be looking to pick up?
I don't know. I haven't really had a chance to check it out myself. I just got here like a few minutes ago to, come up here for this event, and I haven't really had a chance to look around and see what's out there. I mean, I'm not as big into the cards myself. Like, I have a bunch, but it's not something that I actively go out of my way to collect. I've got a bunch of stuff that I've accumulated over my years. One of my favorite little toys was a Buzz Lightyear at the time. I have an original Buzz Lightyear toy that was people were fighting in the malls to get them, so it was kind of crazy. But that's my thing.
Oh, love it. All right, I'll toss it back to you.
We'll talk about the football side of things, Sean.
All right, I know a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. Growing up, you were actually a rugby player. Can you tell us a bit more about that and how you transitioned into football?
Well, that kind of the funny thing of it is that in middle school, when I was in grade 10, the rugby season transitioned from being in the fall to being in the spring. And so when I went to senior high in grade 11, I had nothing to do in the fall. I was like, I don't know, but I could go for tennis, but I'd played tennis before. I went out for soccer. I played soccer before. Oh, football. Never played football before. Why don't we give that a shot? And so just on a lark, me and a bunch of buddies went and tried out for the team, and I managed to make it. Although I didn't get to play running back. That was the position I really wanted to play. And the coach at the time was like, no, I've got a running back. We don't need any more. Thank you very much. And so he put me on the offensive line. And I never let him forget that to this day.
And then you quickly turned heads at SFU. Simon Fraser prepared you well. How did it prepare you there?
Simon Fraser was a great start for me. It's so unfortunate that the program has been canceled, because a lot of guys who were in my position who were coming up, they wouldn't have had their start. They wouldn't have had an opportunity to get out in front of everybody that they did. And it's funny, you say I had a quick start at Simon Fraser, but it actually took me 2 years to get onto the starting lineup because the guy ahead of me was so amazing, and I had to wait for him to graduate. And that was basically the kind of the story of my career. Every step of the way, it was always a grind. You always have to keep your nose down in the beginning and then wait for a break to happen.
And now the glory days in the CFL, 13 years playing, including you coming back from retirement.
Well, if we're going to count that, then it's 14.
And then it's 14. Okay, there you go. What stands out looking at those years? What really sticks out to you, to your heart there?
Well, obviously, I'm wearing one of my Grey Cup rings, so I got 2 of those, and the team environment. I think that's really what I remember most. Is that over all the years, all the accomplishments, all the things, individual accolades, team accolades, the thing that you kind of really hold on to. And I'm older now, I'm 56, so I've had some time to reflect on these things. You think back on the guys that you knew, the experiences that you had together, that's what I really hold on to. We just had a reunion of the 2000 Grey Cup team, and a bunch of the guys were all in town for that, and it was fun just kind of talking about stuff that's only relevant to us because we were there, but nobody else cares. But you just have that shared history, so that's pretty cool.
And you were known as the Diesel for good reason. You would thunder through guys. So I encourage everyone to look at highlights of you in your prime. It was pretty sweet. In your prime, what was the recipe to your success, you think?
Well, speed and power. Like, it's funny you say, my nickname also, they called me, we had another guy, Corey Philpott, another great running back, and he was lightning, I was thunder. And it was like, you're going to get just bowled over by the thunder, or you're going to get zapped by the lightning. And my philosophy was always, I'm not the fastest guy out here, I'm not the strongest guy out here, but by the time you put the two things together, I'm going to beat most people. If you're faster than me, then I'm probably bigger and stronger than you. And if you're bigger and stronger than me, then I'm faster than you. So it's just learning to know which time to turn on which skill, and that's what really helped me throughout my career.
And we have to point out your records, single game records. 212 with BC, 225 with Edmonton.
Still standing, by the way, if I can say.
Still standing. And I've heard this before, because we've interviewed guys like Andrew Harris.
Right.
The attitude and mentality of a running back is a bit different.
It is a little different.
You gotta be on it from the first quarter to the fourth, and as long as you played, to stay motivated. The mental part of it it's what separates a good player from a great player. So how were you able to stay mentally check your career?
Well, it's funny because I'm in fitness now, and I do coaching, I have personal training, and I was working with a young man actually yesterday, and he has aspirations to be a professional soccer player. And I said much the same thing to him, that it's really about your mind. Your mind is what separates you from an also-ran. Everybody at the pro level is good. You wouldn't get to the pro level if you didn't have skills. But what makes you the number one guy instead of the number 10 guy is how strong your mind is, whether you have that ability to focus when there's distractions. You're going to worry about the crowd, or you're going to worry about what your mom said, or are you just going to focus on getting the job done? And to me, what I did to focus was just routine, habit. This is what I do every single time in every single situation, and then that becomes just your norm. So it doesn't matter that it's 3rd and 1, the game's on the line, you have to score right now, otherwise you're going to lose and the championship's off the table. Like, this is just another day of practice. This is just another game, just like the other 200 games you've already played. And when you really live that mindset, then the sky's the limit.
Beautiful. The Grey Cup, it's in Vancouver this year.
Yes, sir.
Honest opinion, does BC have a chance to hoist on home soil? And you've had a similar situation 30 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Hoisting it here, to compete for it here. Any valuable advice for this team?
Well, I don't know how valuable it is, but what my advice to the team would be, it's now or never kind of thing. Everybody needs to check themselves. They need to look themselves in the eyeball. What are you going to do differently between now and the end of the season that's going to impact your ability to move forward? Because I know when we did it, years ago, we were the first team with a losing record to actually win the Grey Cup, and how we did it was everybody came in, everybody did extra work, everybody was in the whole team, literally the whole team's in the weight room after practice, putting extra reps, putting in more time to try and get better so that you're ready for the next game. And you did that every game for 4 weeks. And by the end of it, you're like a formidable force because you've been concentrating for a good month to get better.
And just to know, that 94 game, it was Canada versus US. So
yes, sir.
That brought it up a little bit, for
yes,
sure.
Yes, it did.
You're still really busy these days. You're acting, you're in broadcasting, you're a trainer, motivator, you've done TED Talks. You're really giving back to the next generation. What do you enjoy most right now in your life?
I think just what you just said, giving back. Like, I've been very blessed. The Lord's given me an opportunity to have a stage, literally in some cases, and I feel that the experiences that I've had were given to me in order to light the way for somebody else. So somebody else can say, hey, it's possible to do this. A Canadian can do that. Or I never thought about doing it that way. I can give a lot of different examples of situations in my life where it was very difficult, very challenging. I didn't see a clear way through, but because I was blessed to keep going, I found a path, and I've been able to communicate that to other people and say, hey, you know, maybe do it this way, or maybe here's an opportunity, or this is a different way of looking at things that might give somebody some encouragement.
Beautiful. So GOAT rapid fire. We're gonna end it off with some GOAT rapid fire. Have some fun here.
All right, let's do this.
All right, you're gonna give us your answer. You can expand if you want to, or you can say next question.
All right.
Are you ready?
Okay. Ready, let's go.
Let's GOAT. Sidney Crosby or Alexander Ovechkin?
Crosby.
Ronaldo or Messi?
Ooh, Ronaldo, baby. Yeah!
LeBron, Jordan, or Kobe? Give me your ranking. One, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3.
Jordan, LeBron, and Kobe.
Killing me.
Tom Brady or Patty Mahomes?
What? Come on now. How many? I'm just gonna say, how many trophies, how many rings does Mr. Brady have? Exactly. He's run out of fingers. He has to use thumbs for freaking all the cups that he has. So it's not even a contest. Talk to me in another 10 years and then we'll see.
True.
Fair.
Walter Payton or Bo Jackson?
Walter Payton was my idol, so that's easy.
Djokovic, Nadal, or Federer?
Ooh, that's a good one.
This is probably the toughest one in sports.
Yeah. I'm a Joko fan. I mean, I've heard him talk. I'm identify with his process, so I gotta go Djokovic.
You already answered it. Your idol growing up?
Walter Payton. I remember seeing a documentary on Walter, and he was just talking about his process and what he did to get ready for a game. And something that I don't know why, but it stuck with me. He used to just go out, find random hills in his neighborhood, and then just sprint up them, like just work, like. And he was like in a lather, But I started doing that, and he's right. It made a massive difference. When you can burn your legs out climbing some big hill, like sprinting as fast as you can up to the top, you're wiped by the time you get to the top. By the time you get down to the bottom, you got to turn around and sprint back up again. I credit a lot of my success to that practice.
What was your pre-game meal?
Pasta and meat sauce.
Post-game victory drink of choice?
I'm a big cider guy. I like cider.
Where was the party after the games here in Vancity?
I owned a nightclub.
Which one?
It was called Level 5 at the time. So that was actually one of the best nights, for a football event, it was probably one of the best nights of my life. We won the Grey Cup in Vancouver, and then not only did we win it in Vancouver, we go back to my establishment and all the boys are at my house and I'm like the MVP of the game. So it's like, what more could you ask for?
Greatest coach?
Dave Ritchie.
Your greatest competitor?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna go with maybe Alondra Johnson. There was a middle linebacker. He was tough as nails. He never turned down a fight. He would come barreling across the line and hit, just head down, coming for you.
Vancouver, Edmonton, Winnipeg. The best city you played in?
Duh. Vancouver, come on now.
Hockey or football? Taking everything into consideration, what's tougher to play?
Again, duh. Football. I mean, come on, dude. Like, you're on skates, you get to run around. Like, literally every single play in a football game, you're getting hit. You can skate for 10 minutes on the ice and not touch anybody. So, I mean, I'm going to say football's harder.
Yep. Last one. If you could get a rookie card here today, any player, any sports, which one? Which or who?
Ooh, that's a good call. Well, I kind of already alluded to it. I'm going to go with a Jordan rookie card.
Good choice. Sean, thanks for coming to this historic event. You're a real legend, and I know you're going to start signing some autographs, but
yes, sir.
you got to do mine first.
All right.
It
Well,
has
thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, guys.
20 on there. I think that's the 2010 team.
I actually have a shirt from that game.
Hey man, thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, folks, we're going to have Sean Millington.